Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Becky DeGrossa with counselingwise.com, and today the webinar is called Blogging for Your Therapy Website, Practice Saver or Complete Waste of Time. Before I dive into this, I want to make sure that you can see the chart and that you can hear me. So if you can, please type yes in the chat area, and that way I'll know that I can continue on here and have you with me. I know there's a delay with Google Hangouts here, so it's going to take a little bit for me to hear back from you, but I just want to make sure that everything is working before I dive in. Can you hear me? Oh, good. Thanks, Inara. Great. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the presentation then. And the way I'm going to do this today is that I am going to I just realized that I have Skype up. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go through the presentation. And thanks for all the confirmation on being able to hear. I appreciate that, everybody. I am going to go ahead and go into the presentation, and then we will have a Q&A, time for Q&A at the end, okay? So feel free to, and please jot down any questions you have as they come up during the presentation so that you can make sure to answer them. And if you want, you can go ahead and type them in the chat right when they come to you, because at the end, I'm going to be going to the beginning of the chat stream, and I will then take the questions in the order that they were entered. Okay, so if you have a question, you want to make sure that it gets answered, please go ahead and type it into the chat. I won't be interrupting the presentation because of the delay with Google Hangouts, but I will in fact be answering all of those questions at the end. Okay, so the purpose of today's webinar. Well, this is a very confusing area in therapy circles. I talked to, well, I don't know. I talked to a lot of people. I talked to 50 therapists last month, okay, and people who just called and made appointments with me to talk about their marketing. And this is clear to some people, but not clear to a lot of people, okay? So there's a lot of confusion around blogging. Should you blog? If so, why? Everyone keeps hearing they should, right? But what would you blog about, and why does it even really matter? Okay, so that's what this webinar is about. So the main problem that I see is that we all hear them saying, hey, you know, you ask someone, hey, how come I'm not getting clients? And they say, do you have a blog? Hey, you need to blog to get clients. You can never have enough content on your website. You need to keep adding content. Content is king, okay? So that's what we all keep hearing. And it may be not very welcome news, okay? You may feel totally lost, like, why are they saying this, okay? You may feel guilty that you don't have time to blog or that you haven't blogged. You may have even decided that blogging is a good thing, but you can't get to it, and then you feel bad about it. You may be simply annoyed that people say you do need to blog, okay? I get that one a lot, okay? And ultimately, you may feel really powerless because you may keep hearing that it's a good thing to do and that you really need to do it in order to get clients, but you have no idea how to do it. So that is what I really want to address, okay? Now, if you have tried it, you may be thinking, well, blogging is a waste of time. I tried it before, it didn't work. I really don't know what to write. I don't have much to say. I mean, what is there to say, right? What is there to say? So this is a big problem. And you may feel, I don't even know what people are interested in. And I certainly don't know how to go about it, even if I could think of some good ideas, like how to structure it, how many words to write, etc. Okay, so there's tons of confusion around this whole topic, and that's what we're going to clear up today. So the big disconnect is that we all keep hearing blogging is the key to your success, and yet we're sitting there saying, I don't get it, I don't want to do it. Okay, and I was in the same boat. Okay, I was definitely in the same boat. In fact, I still am, and I have to get help with this. I've had many websites over the years, and I knew that, you know, everyone kept telling me the same thing. Put more blogs up, blog, get more pages on your site. And it just was a constant downer for me. Okay, so if it's a downer for you, I'm with you. I know what you're talking about. I know how you feel. And so let's go ahead and see what we can do. with that today. So I'm going to cover three things. The first thing I'm going to cover, which I think is the most important thing, is basically, does blogging really help? Okay, is this just a bunch of mumbo jumbo? Is this just the party line, or does it really help? Okay, the next thing that I'll cover is, if so, if it does help, then how can we go about it in a way that makes sense? Okay, how can we eliminate the confusion? How can we eliminate the barriers and go about it in a logical way? And then ultimately, how you can get help with your blogging. There are going to be some people that are listening to this today, and if you're one of those who is very organized and you love writing, then you may be really excited because you're going to have a lot of good ideas after what I talk about today. Okay, good ideas about how to go about it, how to get yourself organized, what to write. Sorry about that. But if you are not one of those people, if you're really overwhelmed by the whole idea and you know that you're not a real consistent person in terms of doing things like that, then you're going to be interested in how you can get help. Okay, so what I do want you to do is stay until the end. I am going to be presenting something to help you. There is a time limit on what I'm going to share. Also, I guess I will just say this: if you don't want to hear about an offer, then leave before the end. Okay, you don't have to stay until the end if you don't want to hear about what we have to offer you regarding blogging. But if you are interested in how to get help, go ahead and stay. Okay, so this is very, very typical. Just yesterday, I had a conversation. I don't even know if that therapist is on the line today, but she may be. And I had a conversation with her. She's an expert in her niche. She's a tremendously good therapist. She has a lot of experience, highly trained and proud of it. PhD, spent $3,000 on her website. Okay, so it's not like she's trying to go the cheap way here. She actually really invested in her website, but she's not getting as much traffic or clients as she wants. Okay, and you know, this is pretty frustrating for her, of course. I suggested, gosh, you don't have a blog. Okay, wow, how did you spend $3,000 on your website and not have a blog? I was met with some pretty big resistance. Okay, and it sounded like this. Wow, so I have to become a marketing person. I mean, I used to just be a therapist. I used to be able to just invite people to come in and talk to me and see if they liked me and see if it seemed like there was a good fit. And that was easy enough, right? And now I have to do all this stuff in order to get those people to call me. Big resistance, you know, why would I blog? What would I do with a blog? What would I say on it? And so this is typical. This is what we get, okay? So you may be able to relate to this. You may feel the same way. And I probably have, I don't know, about 3 of those calls a week with people confused about it. So let's talk about that. Does blogging really help? Okay, does it really help you get clients? Because ultimately, that's what we want to do, right? We're not going to just be blogging to have fun out there. We really want to know if it's going to work and get us clients. So who is saying it does, and are they credible? All right, and that's what I want to show you right now. So who says that blogging matters? Well, HubSpot, big company in online marketing. They do a lot of research. They say companies that blog fast as those that blog once per month. So they're not even questioning the value of blogging. They're questioning how often do you want to do it. Companies that blog more than weekly grow an additional 50% faster. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. Google says it matters. Creating good content pays off. If you ever go out there and you really read the Google guidelines and what Google says to do, you're going to see all sorts of references to good content. The Guardian, creating high quality content means creating value to keep your audience engaged. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how you're going to get site visitors, potential clients, and how you want to keep them engaged with blogging. All right. If any of you know Neil Patel, he's an ethical marketer, and he is really into content marketing. He says it's the new SEO. And so he basically really promotes good blogging. And Forbes magazine, okay? Forbes magazine earlier this year, the 3 pillars of SEO in 2014. One of them is publish high quality content that gets read, okay? So one more. Content is the currency for establishing authentic relationships with customers. This is a venture capital firm, okay? So everyone is looking online, looking at how companies become successful online, and all signs are leading to this, that content really matters. Google, again, publishers continue to be focused on delivering the best possible user experience on your websites. Go ahead and do it, okay? All right, one last thing, and this is really compelling. HubSpot again, businesses with websites that have 401 to 1,000 pages, okay, that's a lot. They get 6 times more leads than those with 51 to 100 pages, okay? I realize as I tell you this that these numbers may sound overwhelming. I don't want you to be overwhelmed by it because we're going to show you something pretty easy to do. And so just get the message here that more pages is better. All right. So who says it matters? Major newspapers, business magazines, ethical marketers, Google, HubSpot, venture capital companies. They can't all be wrong, right? So that's what it is there. So is this just for big players? That's one of the questions I had. Okay, when I read all these stats, is it just for big players? Will it help local businesses like yours and small businesses like yours? Okay, and so let's see what happens. No one in the therapy niche has done the research. Okay, no one in the therapy niche has enough money to do the big research study on this. However, physicians have more money, okay? And so what I'm going to show you is an actual study. You can go look these guys up. You can look this up on their website, but there is a company, MD Web Pro. They do medical website design, obviously, and they have done an in-depth study of this, okay? So here is what they present on their website. They did a search for plastic surgery Houston, okay? And this is just them presenting the pages that showed up on page 1, okay? The websites that show up on page 1. So the top one has 751 pages, and then of course they have some kind of a national directory which has 81,000 pages, so we'll throw that out, right? But then there's Plastic Surgery Houston with 140 pages, Nico Cosmetic Surgery Center with 252 pages, another Smith Plastic Surgery with 196 pages. These are the top results on Google for plastic surgery in Houston, okay? So basically what they did was they identified the top 169 plastic surgery websites in major US metro areas, okay? That's where they started. And they said these sites across the US averaged 409 pages. So they went and analyzed all of these top 169 sites, and they saw that they averaged 409 pages. Now, they factored out, if we factor out this outlier of that huge directory that has 81,000 pages, what we see is that the top 4 sites average 335 pages, okay? The average plastic surgery site is really only 30 to 40 pages long, okay? And similar to therapy world, the average therapy site is only, I don't know, I want to say 8 to 10 pages, okay? Very low, even compared to plastic surgery, very low, okay? Most people throw up a website or they get a cheap template site or a cheap website maker, and they throw up a template. And it's very few pages. It doesn't have a blog. It's very low, okay? So just to check this and see if this applied, if this same kind of trend applied to therapy, I just went to my own hometown here and I did a search on Psychotherapist Boulder, okay? And this was earlier this year, actually. I haven't redone this. But the data that I found once I removed the outliers, okay? So the outliers in our world are big directories that end up showing up top, like Psychology Today, goodtherapy.org, Network Therapy, whatever. We're never going to compete with them, but if we take those out and then we look at the remaining sites that rank, we're going to be able to see some trends, okay? So the top 10 averaged 139 pages. That's a lot more than the typical therapy site, right? The next 10, meaning on page 2, averaged 94 pages. And then on page 3, the next 10 average 63 pages. So you can see this clear trend of more pages ranks you higher. This is in the therapy niche. You can try it in your city. If you want to know how to find the number of pages on a certain site that you see, you can just go to the Google search line and you can type in site : and I'll go ahead and type it in the chat here, site : and then sitename.com. Okay, and that site name may have a www in front of it or it may not. That's what you're going to type in. All right, and so then you can see the number of pages that any site has in your market. And go ahead, take the time if you want, and go ahead and look in your market and see what is the average number of pages on page 1 for sites that are ranking in your area, and then what is it for page 2, and what is it for page 3. And my guess is that you're going to find that trend pretty much anywhere you look. All right, so remember that psychologist I told you about that I talked to yesterday? Well, the sites that were above her averaged 2.5 times the number of pages that she had on her site. Okay, so there's a very recent data point for you on this. Okay, Natalie types into the chat 139. I feel scared. Yeah, don't worry, Natalie, because there's ways to do this. Okay, and we'll talk about that. All right, so we already know more pages on the site really does make a difference. But what does it have to do with blogging? Okay, because this is what this webinar is on. It's on blogging. Well, it just so happens that blogging is the easiest way to add more pages to a site. Okay, that simple truth. You don't have to change the navigation bar. You just go in there, you add a blog post, you categorize it, and you're done. Okay, so it's much easier than adding a new page, and Google looks at it as a page. Every blog post is considered a page in the Google world. Okay, so let's talk about why it helps. If you've been on my webinars before, you may remember this. This is a chart that basically talks about our Smart Therapy Websites program and how we approach this. But there's really 3 things that we're trying to do with our websites in terms of marketing strategy. And blogging affects all of these 3 pieces. Okay, it's amazing. So first of all, the first piece is to get their attention. Well, the more pages you have, the more you can cast a wider net and attract more potential clients. Okay, so even if I write a blog post that says something like, what are the signs of teen anorexia? Okay, that's a lot of words, right? What are the signs of teen anorexia? 7 words. Well, if I write that, you're going to see that what happens is you're going to get traffic to that. Okay, people who are in your market who type that in, they're going to come to your site because you wrote on that. Okay, so you're casting a wider net. More pages, the wider your net, and also the other thing is you have more support for the authority of your homepage. So there is something called domain authority, and Google ranks sites with domain authority, and so that's your whole site. How important is it? Okay, and so what they'll do is domain authority tends to increase by the number of pages you have. And you have relative content on all those pages, okay? Relevant content, I should say. And so all of that supports Google knowing what your site is about and saying, this is a really good site. This is an authority site. They have a lot of content. Just so that you know, the biggest authority sites online, authority scores range from 0 to 100. And the biggest authority sites online are like Wikipedia, Amazon.com, YouTube.com, these huge sites, right, that have tons of authority, tons of pages, Huffington Post, etc. Now, when you are writing, you don't have to worry about competing with those guys because you're competing with other therapists in your market. So you don't have to get anywhere near the millions of pages that they have. You just have to keep writing, okay? And we'll get into that. Now, more value, that's the second part of the Smart Therapy Websites approach. And what we're talking about there is more value keeps your client on your site longer, okay? And the way we do it, any of you who have talked to me recently or seen some examples of this, we will create a landing page, for instance, for something like depression counseling. And then on that same page, we will have blog posts that are related to depression. So what happens is somebody comes to that page, they read all about depression, they relate to the story, yeah, this is how I feel. Okay, you're telling me I'm not totally crazy. There's plenty of other people who feel this way. Now you're telling me you can probably help me. Now you're, kind of answering my objections or my concerns about going to therapy for depression. You're actually addressing things like, do I have to be on meds forever, and all this kind of stuff. And so what you want to do with that is you want to then, in the right sidebar, basically show depression posts, okay? And so they're reading there about depression already. They're going to click those posts and they're going to stay on your site longer. And that's the way it works, okay? That's how you get people to stay there for a long time. And then the third item in our Smart Therapy website's approach is to keep in touch, okay? More pages give you content that you can then send to your email list, okay? So typically we build lists, okay? So we would actually offer a free report on our depression page. We would have somebody download that and be on our depression list. And then every time we write a blog post, we send that to that person, okay? That's how you stay top of line, build top of mind. You build a relationship with those people in your market who are struggling with depression, and eventually they come in, all right? The other factor is this. If you have blog posts on your site, you now have fodder for the social media world, okay? Everyone's talking about social media. You need to be out there. Social signals matter in rankings, yada, yada, yada. They do, okay? They matter a lot. But what are you going to post out there? What are you going to post on social media, right? If you have blog posts, you can do that. You can post them out on Google+, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever. And so that is really going to help you. And that's what this shows right here, okay? You'll have more pages to reach out into social media channels, and then you'll get those social signals that will then allow you to rank, all right? So blogging is, it's kind of like the hub, you know, the hub in the middle of this whole system that works. It gives you page growth, domain authority, a way to reach out to your clients, a way to keep them on the site longer, a way to reach out via social media. It's really kind of like the food that feeds the whole system, all right? That is why blogging gets you more clients, all right? It's multi-dimensional. All right, so hopefully by now you believe that blogging can help. If you don't, then go ahead and you know, ask me more questions about it. But let's say you do believe it, so what? You may still have this problem, right? You still have those voices in your head that are saying, maybe not blogging is a waste of time, but hey, I tried it before and it didn't work. I don't know what to write. I still don't know what to write. I don't have much to say. I don't know what people are interested in. I don't know how to go about it still in terms of structure, how many words to write, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about that. How will you do it? How will you get more content on your site to get up to maybe the 100-page mark and then keep going, okay? So I just throw out 100 pages. It's very random. It's going to be dependent upon how competitive it is in your area. Or Los Angeles, 100 pages is probably not going to you know, be a miracle for you, but it should help with longer tail search terms. If you're in a smaller town, 100 pages is going to put you at the top for a lot of stuff. Okay, so that's that. So how are you going to do that? Well, there's the hard way, sitting there and trying to think of something to write and, you know, beating yourself up. Okay, so it's Tuesday at 3 o'clock. I said I was going to sit down for an hour and blog every Tuesday at 3 o'clock. What am I going to write? Okay. Well, what if there's a better way? What if you actually had a blogging plan first? Okay. What if you had a blogging plan? So this is something that you can actually create. Then you can figure out how you're going to get it done. So let's talk about a blogging plan. All right. So in a blogging plan, what we try to do is we try to have a balance of what we call core content and then deeper or how-to content, okay? And I'm going to show you what I mean by those things. We want to consistently add blog posts each month to our website. If you're in a big city, you want to add it every week at least. If you're in a smaller place, once a month might work for you. So that's what you want to do. Make your post 600 words or more. Now, what I will tell you is that this is the 2013 Search Metrics study said the best ranked pages on websites are 600 words or more. I will tell you that unfortunately a new study came out September 8th, their 2014 study, and they basically are now saying the best ranked pages are 900 words, 900 to 1,000, yikes. For longer tail search terms, we are still finding success with 600 word pages. Okay, for landing page type pages such as depression counseling, anxiety treatment, couples counseling, couples therapy, whatever, we are writing 900 to 1,000 page word pages, okay? But for longer tail terms, such as, you know, how do I know if my teen has anorexia? We would hope that 600 words or more is going to be good enough, okay? So just so that you know that. And you also want to make sure that once you place these blog posts on your site, that they're easy to find, okay? Easy to find. So let's talk about core content. What is that? Well, core content is subtopics in your niche, okay? So if you work with couples, then you know that the subtopics in that area are intimacy, infidelity, communication, fighting, parenting, you know, all those kinds of things that people have issues with, that couples have issues with. So you make a list of those subtopics, and then you make a strong title. You create a strong title, and I'll show you some strong titles here. You create a strong blog post that is well written, interesting, 600 words or more, and you post it. All right, that's core content. Core content for your website. Do this once a week minimum. More is better. Really, if you're in a very small town, you could do it less often than that, but you can, again, you know, I hate to say it, but you can never have too much content. All right. Core content title, an example, just the blues or symptoms of depression, how to tell the difference. Okay. That's one of the things people wonder about depression, right? Am I really depressed, or is this just normal ups and downs? So this is a great title for that. Okay. Now let's talk about deeper and how-to content, okay? To get to what this is, you want to really reflect on your clients' questions and issues, okay? You see them every day. You're sitting there doing therapy with them. What are they wondering about? What's going on with them? What are their actual day-to-day struggles, okay? So decide what you will write, create a strong title, create a strong blog post, post it. Again, that's how you do it. Do this once a week minimum. Again, never can have too much. Here's an example of deeper content. Afraid of a depression diagnosis? You're not alone. Okay, you know that within depression, that's one of the things that people are worried about. Here's another for how-to content. Is depression disrupting your sleep? Create a sleep ritual to get to sleep more often. Okay, so these are just examples of things that if you are working with someone who's depressed, you know that they struggle with these things. And so they're deeper, kind of insider's knowledge topics, okay? All right, common types of blog posts. And don't feel like you have to, you know, jot everything down here really quickly and get this, because this video is going to be available, okay? The video is going to be available, so you can always watch it again and take screenshots or whatever and get these things down. But these are common types of blog posts. Instructional, telling people how to do something, okay? That sleep one, develop a sleep ritual. That's an example of that. Another example is how to tell your kids that you're getting a divorce, something like that, okay? So those are instructional. Informational is something that provides solid information on topics. So such as these are the 3 signs that you should watch for with teen anorexia, okay, or eating disorder or something like that. You're giving information to your potential clients, and they're looking for this information, so it's awesome, okay? That is what they're looking for. Reviews, okay? People search on things, so they search on reviews of books, movies, medications, treatment modalities, etc. So maybe somebody has heard of EMDR. You may write a review on EMDR and how it helps people, or how it compares to something else, some kind of other treatment. You could talk about medications, how often talk therapy and depression medications work together to help somebody. You could do a review on a new book that's out, on a new movie that's out. Often there's movies that have some pretty interesting psychological profiles, and those are really popular at the time. So you could do reviews of those, okay? Lists. 3 mistakes people make with depression meds. That's a list, okay? Lists are very popular. The reason they're popular is that there's a number there, and people think, oh, I could handle that. I could learn 3 of anything, right? 5 of anything. Don't say 81 reasons or 81 mistakes or something like that. That's going to be overwhelming, but small numbers. And for some reason, odd numbers work better. I don't know why. But 3, 5, 7, But lists are very, very popular. Interviews, you could actually interview a book author, you could interview another therapist, you could have someone interview you, and then you can have all that text on your website. You can have a video interview as well, or an audio interview, but Google can't crawl video and audio. So you are going to want to have the actual transcript of that interview on your website so that Google can crawl the content and then have that help rank you. You can have case studies, and you can also link posts. So what this is you could actually say the top resources for people with depression, and you can have a whole bunch of links. Now, you do want to add more text to a link post. You want to say, here's a bunch of websites, or here's a bunch of great articles. And then under each article, you're going to say, I really like this one because it emphasizes, whatever, a holistic approach to treating depression. And that's what I find works best in my practice, yada, yada. Okay. But you want to give them some context of why you're sharing them. All right. Two more types of blog posts here. One is a problem post. This is very similar to review posts, but it serves as a caution, okay? So, the problem with treating depression with medication only, the problem with, not announcing your divorce to your children correctly, the problem with avoiding your anxiety issue, something like that, okay? So those are also, people don't want problems, right? They don't want to cause problems. So they tend to really read topics like this. So these are the headlines in the newspaper are really good at problem posts, right? Because the whole thing is about that, caution, caution. It gets people's attention. And then finally, the last one is contrasting two options. So this could be similar to review posts, but wider in focus, where you're actually saying, hey, here's two options. You could treat depressions with meds, or you can treat it with talk therapy. And here's the two different approaches, and maybe end up with, a great solution is the two of them together or something like that. But contrasting two options is a good idea too. Okay. So that's a lot. Don't feel like you have to have all those. It just gives you, if you have a list like this, it will enable you to go, oh, okay, so it's Tuesday, 3 o'clock. I was going to write on, teen eating disorders. What do I want? And then you can kind of go through this and you can say, let's see, how about if I just do informational? Yeah, that looks like that would be good. Or I have this friend who's really knowledgeable about eating disorders. Maybe I could interview her. Okay, you can just look through this list and decide how you want to approach it. All right. Okay. Does this sound easy or hard? Elizabeth says this is so helpful. Great. Awesome, Elizabeth. If anyone is feeling that, okay, this is all great information, but it still sounds hard, go ahead and pipe in, okay? Because for people who are not that organized and don't like writing, it's going to be great information, and they're still going to feel quite overwhelmed with implementing it. If you are organized, awesome. Okay, and if you're good at doing things consistently, you'll have no problem. I am terrible at that, okay? Believe it or not, I'm terrible at doing things consistently. So that's why I hire people to blog for me. The Counseling Wise site has grown and grown and grown. We have tons of blog posts. We do them every week, and it's mainly because someone else is doing them besides me. If it were up to me, we would have like 10 pages, and it would be a drag, okay? But if you are good at doing things consistently, you'll have no problem. You may be interested, if you're not that person, in a better way, okay, in an easy way. And that's what I'm going to share with you now, all right? So there is a way to get high quality for you. Just imagine that. This content is well structured, it's the right length, etc. And this content is proven to be of interest to your potential clients because it is researched first, okay? So we actually look at what people are typing into Google, and then we write blog posts. We write them each and every month for the people who want us to do it. And it's like clockwork. It works all the time, and it's done for a very reasonable price, all right? Now, some of you may not be interested in this, some of you will, and so here you go. Let's talk about the easy way. Therapy blog library. This is something that we launched earlier this year. It's been extremely popular offering for our clients. Our clients tend to be, the ones who do websites with us, they tend to be much more educated in terms of marketing, okay? And, you know, I'm not saying there's other people who aren't, but what I am saying is that they learn a lot in doing a lot about marketing and doing a site with us. And what they know when they're done is that they need to keep blogging. And some of them find that hard, okay? So the way it works is you join the program at the right level for you, and I'm going to show you what those levels are, and I'll let you know. We have two different types of blogging plans, and we offer two because SEO is more expensive to do, okay? So we have a non-SEO plan where we're just creating a lot of content, and we're obviously centering them around things that we know people are interested in, kind of the core content stuff. So we will, if you join that program, we'll create 12 blog post titles for you. We'll get your approval on those titles, and then we will write your allotted posts each month. So you can sign up for 1 a month, 2 a month, 3 a month, 4 a month. All right. And we will then send them to you. You can edit them to make them more you if you want, and, you know, have something at the bottom that says, hey, you know, feel free to call me at this number or something, and you put them on your site. We also have added an SEO plan, okay, because this is the ultimate. The ultimate is to really do detailed research on what people are typing in, create a keyword strategy for your website, then create titles. So we still create those 12 titles and get your approval according to the keyword strategy. And we write the allotted posts each month and put them on your site in an optimized manner, okay? So optimized means we go in and we do the SEO on those posts. Obviously, that takes more time, so it's more expensive. And I want to make a comment here. The non-SEO plan still works. There are plenty of therapists who have written tons of content. It's not even optimized, but the fact that they have so much content, Google says this is an authority site, okay? And they rank better. So you can do that, and you're still going to get a lot of benefit. If you are a real stickler and you want the ultimate benefit that you can get, then you can write, you can do the SEO plan where we will optimize your blog posts as well. All right, so here's the details. You own the blog posts you get, okay? They are your property, you paid for them, you own them. Each post is original. We verify that through Copyscape, okay? So we have bloggers, they are very experienced writers, they're good writers, and we check to make sure that they're never copying anything that's already out there and then giving you a duplicate content problem. So each post is original. You can modify the post as you see fit, okay? So we may use a certain term, and we may say, you know, something about anxiety treatment, and you want to use anxiety counseling instead. That's great. You can modify it however you see fit. You can add an intro, you can add an outro, you can do whatever you want to make it fit you. Okay, each post, as I said, is 600 plus words. The best length for, according to Search Metrics in 2003, we think it's still a good enough length for 2014 for longer tail terms, which blog posts usually approach. And you can change membership level at any time, okay? So you could start out saying, I want to do 4 posts a month because I want to get a bunch on my site to try to catch up because I've lost a lot of time. And then you could scale it back down to 2 anytime. You can also cancel it anytime, okay? So you're not locked into this for 6 months or a year or anything like that. It's a way to get things done with a lot of flexibility, okay? So we are accepting 10 therapists at this time. We need to make sure that we can write quality content for the folks that join. Most who joined in February are still in the program. And I want to show you what it's actually going to cost. How much is this worth? First of all, well, as you've seen, content will build your practice. The consistency alone is priceless. So for me, with inability to actually just sit down every week and get this done, having somebody do it for me is totally priceless. And I know there's a lot of you out there who are really busy and you still want to blog so that you have good clients coming in, but you don't have time. This is a lifesaver. You don't have to worry about blogging anymore. That's what I want, okay? Ultimately, that's what I want. I want the problem solved for me. How much does it cost? Well, the price varies depending on your membership level and whether you're going to do the SEO option versus the non-SEO option. We do good keyword research and good writing, and that's not cheap, okay? It's not cheap. We don't hire people from other countries to do the writing. We have US English, Canadian English only, okay? And so you're going to get quality stuff. So here's the pricing for the non-SEO options, okay? The explosive growth plan, if you really want to add a lot of pages to your site fast, is $189 a month, and that's 4 600-word blog posts, okay? And then you can see the slow growth, the price there, $69. 2 posts per month is $119, and 3 is $159. All right, so that's the non-SEO plan. The SEO plan, it's a bit more expensive because of the work to actually do the detailed keyword research and do the optimization of each post, but it goes everywhere from $99 a month for 1 post that is optimized up to $309 for 4 posts that are optimized, okay? So that is the pricing there. And if you are interested in this, you can go to therapybloglibrary.com/join, okay? So you could do that, therapybloglibrary.com/join. And again, there's no risk, okay? You can become a member and you can change your mind or cancel at any time. So don't worry about that. You're not locked in. You could get your first blog post and see what you think. And if you decide you don't want to do it anymore, you don't have to do it anymore, okay? Simple as that. All right, so strongly encourage you to join. These spots won't last long. Last time we sold out pretty quickly that we offered it. And we're only taking 10 because we can't, we don't want to take on too many people and not service everybody in time, okay? So that's that. I'm going to open it up for questions now, and I want you to, if you have questions that you haven't asked yet, go ahead and put them in the chat box to the right of the video. I'm going to start scrolling down here and see what questions were asked that I haven't answered yet, and then we can get everybody taken care of here. Let's see. Janelle, what therapists have found this to work? Is there research on this? Yeah. So Janelle, I showed you the correlations of pages to rankings, and you can check it out in your own area and see. Natalie, 139, I feel scared. Yeah. Just plug away at it, Natalie. Jason, yeah, don't be scared. Plenty of other factors involved. Jim, what is a page? Louis answers, every blog post is a page. Good. Mark Andreas, I put in Google site, markandreas.com, and site, www, and neither gave me my page numbers. That's interesting. Well, you did it correctly as far as I can see, Mark. So I can look afterwards and help you out with that. Elizabeth, in addition to writing our own material, including other articles, can we include other stuff like Huffington Post or whatever? Okay, I think what you're meaning, Elizabeth, is you're going to write for Psychology Today or Huffington Post. Can you include them, those sites? I'm hoping that's what you mean. You may also be meaning, can I just take somebody else's posts from Psychology Today or Huffington Post, which the answer is going to be the same. You don't want to do that, okay? You don't want to do that. What Google is really looking for on any site is unique content. Now, news sites are different, okay? So, you know, there's the AP, Associated Press, they take articles from all over, and there, you know, a lot of news sites have duplicate content. They are expected to have duplicate content, but your site is supposed to be original content, okay? And so it's not a good idea for you to do that. In fact, I had one client who wrote for Huffington Post. She took every article she wrote on Huffington and she put it on her own site, and her site got penalized big time. Okay, so I would not do that. You can link out to articles, but what I would suggest you do is say, I want to share an article I read with you today. The reason I really like this article is because of yada, yada, yada. Notice that the author talks about you know, the importance of XYZ based on her experience. I have found that to be true with my therapy clients as well. To read the full article, click here, and then you can link out to Huffington Post or Psychology Today. Okay, it's going to be a pretty short post, so you don't want to do too many of those, but you can do that. Yeah, Jason, I don't think Google likes people including other articles if you mean to paste them into a blog post, right? Can you suggest HIPAA-compliant email distribution services to use for keeping in contact with our email lists? Yeah, let me get that. Hushmail, that's a good one. But here's the thing. Okay, so this is a big topic. I think that I'll leave this to the end because there's marketing and then there's real client HIPAA issues, okay? You can certainly use Constant Contact, iContact, MailChimp, etc., and none of those are HIPAA compliant. There is HIPAA compliant email, but it doesn't typically send to a big list. It's for one-on-one email communication, okay? So that's that. I don't know, actually, if Hushmail will take a list or not. I don't know how somebody opts into a list. Okay, with that. I know that they can set up a user ID and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not sure. So we can talk about that a little bit later. What exactly do I type into Google Sites page numbers? Yeah, Mark, I don't know. I'll have to check after this and see, okay? Kylie, does Hugs Gmail, I don't know, H-U-S Gmail, have an email newsletter service, a way to distribute your blog post by sending only one email? I'm not sure what HUS Gmail is. Okay. Sherry, I've tried site name and it's not telling me how many pages. Have you done sitename.com, yoursite.com? Louie Lou, 900 words. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Jason, if you're blogging on WordPress, you should get the Yoast to boost your SEO. Yep, Yoast plugin is the best one that there is. Sherry, is a landing page part of your website or is it a different website name? It is part of your website. In fact, here, let me give you a URL. This guy's going to see a little spike in traffic today. Go to Davidson Counseling Group. Okay, what you will see, Davidson, S-O-N, Counseling Group, what you'll see is a very well put together site that has numerous specialty pages, i.e. landing pages, under services like depression counseling, child counseling, family counseling, etc. Look at that. All of those pages that have to do with a specialty are what we call landing pages. And then note that on each one of those pages, for instance, on the depression counseling page, you are going to be able to look over and see blog posts that have to do with depression, okay? So that is a great way to do a site. Let's see. Will you say more about the blog plan, short-term and long-term? Janelle, I guess I'm not sure what you mean by short-term and long-term. Bottom line, you want to continually blog, okay? You want to continually blog on your site. So you really want to set up a schedule and you want to keep going. Google favors sites that are continually adding content, no doubt about it. And of course, you know, the more pages you get, the more domain authority you have. And so that's what you want to do. There are some people who have really full practices because they've already done all this work. And then I tell them, well, just keep it going. Just do one a month instead of 4 a month or something. Okay. So hopefully that helps. Let me know if I answered it or not. Natalie, I have a special niche. Can you help with post titles? Yes, definitely. We can help with post titles. No problem with that. Kylie, can we request that the blog writer use a specific theoretical orientation such as psychodynamic? Here's what I will tell you, Kylie. Our bloggers are not trained therapists, and the average lay person is not trained therapist. Therefore, what you want to do with blogging is you want to appeal to the people that you're trying to attract, and most of them are not really savvy regarding psychodynamic versus other theoretical models, okay? So what I can tell you is we can write to get attention, and we can work with you certainly on style, but it's not necessarily going to be, okay, here's a perfect psychodynamic blog post. Hopefully that makes sense. Inara, are you accepting new writers at this time? We are not, actually. We just hired 3 new writers because of this launch. So we aren't actually at this time, but thank you for asking. If I want to join, will you help me define the specialty area that will be most effective? Yes. So Lynn, it's basically, you know, what we do is we look at your website, and then maybe you need more specialty pages on your website or something. But we can, if you have numerous specialty areas, we can help you with, we know which ones get the most volume. Okay. So we can help you with that. Stephanie, could you do a combination of non-SEO and SEO blogs? Sure, you could. You could do 2 of each. You could do 1 of optimized, 2 of non, whatever you want to do. We are more than happy to work with you. That's not an issue. Judy, I have a website with a page link to my blog. Is that the way to do it? No. Okay, good question, Judy. Here's the deal. If you have a blog that is not on your website, then you are hurting yourself, okay? What you really want to do is you always want to have your blog on your website. Your website, you are kind of building up somebody else's domain and not your own website domain. You will not get domain authority credit for it. So you always want to have your website on your, your blog on your own website, okay? Jason, do you know of resources that can help with content planning, such as an online content calendar? I'm guessing just Google Calendar or the like. Yeah, Jason, we have, we actually have a marketing calendar that we use, and maybe Megan, my assistant, is flying right now. She's coming back from this awesome training we sent her to, but we can actually post the marketing calendar somewhere so that you all could see it if you're interested in seeing that, okay? Lynn, if I want to join, will you help me choose what specialty to focus on, or can we focus on more than one? You can totally focus on more than one, Lynn. We have a lot of therapists in the program who have maybe 4 or 5 specialties. And so they basically say, hey, I want to do X number this year, and I want 30% of them to be on this, and 20% on this topic, and 20% on this topic, and whatever. So we just divide it up and, you know, cover all of them, okay? Danette, duplicate content and blogging. What does this mean? How does Google look at this? Well, that's a very good question. So in a nutshell, Google looks at any page on the website and they index it, okay? And so what they're doing when they index it is they're basically saying, this is what this page is about. And they have a way of indexing so that they know how it was all put together. If they find another page that is exactly the same online, they do a determination of who had it first, and therefore they assume the one who had it first is the author. Also, the site that is the biggest mountain gets the credit. So, for instance, if there is a blog post on Huffington Post and you put it on your post, Huffington Post is going to rank and you are not. Okay, and you get a ding against you. So that's how that works. Simplest way I can explain it. Janelle, it does help, and I guess structure, which has been addressed, was another aspect of that question. Landing page, then topic post related to landing page. Thanks, this was really helpful. Thank you, Janelle. Michelle, I hired you to edit my ebook, and it was wonderful. Highly recommend you. Thank you. Thanks, Michelle. It wasn't me, of course. It was one of our amazing writers. They are awesome. Keith, what is blogging on WordPress and getting Yoast to boost your SEO? WordPress is a platform, Keith. It's a platform for creating websites. It has a blog built in, and one of the plugins are things that you use with WordPress sites. One of the plugins for SEO is called Yoast, and that's the best SEO plugin there is, okay? Kylie, can we edit our own blog without paying you to do it? Sure. You can edit your own blog without paying us to do it. Jim, is there a readability score level that is optimal for blog posts? Yes, there is actually. And I believe the latest recommendation is it's a 5th grade level. And I'm not sure, Jim, where you actually find that. There's a tool. Boy, I'm drawing a blank. Menopausal brain fog here. Go ahead and Google readability score. And there is a tool that you can use, and you can run your blog post through that tool, and it will tell you what your readability score is. And I believe the suggested level is like 5th grade or something. Jason, that'd be great if you could. Okay, sure. And I assume you're talking at that point about the marketing calendar, Jason. So yeah, no problem with that. Wow, great questions, you guys. Great, great questions. Okay, so I don't see any more questions in the chat. If I did not answer your question, if you have one still that you didn't post, or I possibly could have missed one because there were so many, please feel free to type it in. Again, you can go to therapybloglibrary.com/join in order to join if you are interested. And like I said, we're only going to take 10 because we always want to make sure that we don't take too many and then fall down on the job. We would much rather have fewer people and do really, really good work for them. So go there if you want to join. I know that we'll sell out. And we will offer it again sometime, like next year. But if you want to get it going sooner, get there now. Can we do special blogs, asked Stephanie, for higher readability, like if we're trying to talk to therapists too? Yes, you can. You totally can, Stephanie. That's fine. Not an issue. Kylie, thank you. Thanks for coming. I appreciate the thanks. Yeah. Any other questions? We've got 4 minutes left before I'm going to shut down the webinar. Anara, great job. Thanks so much. Thanks, Anara. Appreciate it. Appreciate the thanks, you guys. Thanks for joining too. And for all your awesome questions. Stephanie, thank you too. Appreciate it. Any last minute questions? Going. I'm going to wait 1 more minute. And if there's none, that's it. Helen, thank you so much. This is really encouraging. Jordan, great ideas. Thank you. Thank you, Jordan. Allison. Becky, can you do a very quick summary of the key points of this presentation? Yes, Allison, I can. Louie Lou, thank you. Great. I'm glad that it was helpful. Allison, so a quick summary is blogs matter. You want more pages on your site in order to rank, in order to get your potential clients engaging with you on your site, and to have something to post to social media and to send out to your lists. And the other thing that I covered is what type of posts are there and how do you decide how long they should be, all that good stuff. Okay, so create a blogging plan and then you'll have a plan to follow. Natalie, you did the MYOB on SEO review from you and have not heard back. Would love to hear from you. You are great. Oh, sure, Natalie. Huh. You never heard back from us. Okay, we'll go check that out and see if that fell through the cracks. Danette, thanks. Thank you, Danette. Robert, thanks. When is the recording available? The recording should be available in, let's see, I want to say maybe about 4 hours or something like that. Megan, who posts them, is flying right now. So when she lands and gets in, she'll be able to post that. Jeff, I'm not sure. Helps in healing past attempts. I'm not sure what that means. Janelle, how will we know that spots are filled? That's a very good question. We can put something out there maybe showing you how many are left. Okay, I'll see if Megan could do that, if she could put something out there. Are we getting the recording link? Yes, in probably about 4 or 5 hours. Are there sites to check your blogs for duplicate content, Keith? Is that what you're asking? You can do that. You can go to Copyscape and check them, okay? Elizabeth, you're going to talk more about email distribution. Yeah, okay, so let's talk about that. There's marketing lists and there's client lists, okay? And the way I view it is marketing, you want as many people as possible to opt into a list. The only way to do that without them having to sign in to opt in is to use one of the non-HIPAA compliant autoresponders, such as MailChimp, MailPoet on WordPress, Constant Contact, Aweber, etc. So when you send out email, you're not necessarily sending to clients, you're sending to people on your list, okay? So hopefully that is clear. If you're communicating with clients, then you can use Hushmail, okay? That's my approach to this. And I realize it doesn't cover the HIPAA issue of potential clients. Anyone in the world could be a potential client. But if you want to market, then I would suggest you not worry about that. If you want clients, don't take that to the letter of the law, okay? Natalie, do you help with reports or ebooks for sites? Yes, we do. We have writers that do that as well, Natalie. Okay, I'm going to call it, you guys. Thanks so much for all your great questions. It was fun today. See you down the road. Hope you guys join the program and hope we can help you get ranked. Take care. Bye-bye.